sitting here trying to debate, do I hate this more than Thor: Love and Thunder? It's close, man. I don't know. I mean, that kid, the kid's getting Thor powers. That's an all-time low for me.
Ant-Man and the Wasp find themselves exploring the quantum realm, interacting with strange new creatures, and embarking on an adventure that pushes them beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. That's what Google says about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, if you don't know, now you know. For everything we do, we give it a 1-sentence review. Since it's Black History Month, Jason, go ahead and start us off with your 1-sentence review.
My 1-sentence review is, this giant man of a movie shrank my enjoyment to an Ant-Man size.
Damn. Oh, Lisa, go ahead and give us your 1-sentence review.
A movie where lying liars lie and pay the price.
Pretty astute. And for me, I'm going to go, how's the next big bad guy for the next 2 phases going to take an L to Ant-Man? Hell, I'll believe Hawkeye over Ant-Man. That's what we're talking about.
Facts.
All right.
Just so everybody knows, spoilers.
Yeah, this is going to be big spoilers.
Guess what? Ant-Man dies at the end. He gets murdered. His face explodes. Eyeballs popped up. It was very, very graphic. I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate. Liars. Jason's trying to get cast in the movie. He's a liar.
In fact, that would have made it a whole better movie for me if that actually happened. Jason, I know that you had some strong opinions about this. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with this discussion here?
Oh man, it's very rare that I go first.
It's like so I'm just going to keep at least last.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We gotta celebrate the ancestors by letting me go first. I'm just gonna come off the rip. I hated this movie. This movie was terrible. It's trash. It sucks. I'm debating if I'd rather want to watch Thor: Dark World or watch this ever again. That's where I'm looking at. I'm juggling it here. And people say, well, why do you hate it, Jason? What's so wrong with it? And I think this is like the last review we did, Love and Thunder. I think I'm just tired of the Marvel thing now. And I think it may not be the movie's fault. I don't know what you guys are going to say, but I think I'm just tired of the Marvel thing. Like, at a certain point, is anything even serious anymore? Does anything even really have threats or consequences or anything that makes the stack the odds against them? Because hell, in the middle of the big fight, one character just told another character to stop being a dick, and he was like, I guess I'll change my life. And that was completely okay. And I'm like, what? How? How, Sway? Like, it just, look, go see Jonathan Majors in this movie. His Kang the Conqueror, up until he gets, the brakes beat off of him, is great. When I said he gets the brakes beat off of him, I'm like, yeah, literally by a bunch of ants, he gets the brakes beat off of him. And the one thing that just boggles my mind in this movie is that if Kang is supposed to be this big, huge threat and conquered all these multiverses and universes and all this type of stuff there, I'm not even worried about him taking the L. The part that bothered me the most of this whole movie, and when I left, I was really like, I'm over it, is that once they go through and they close it, and, old girl comes back and they close it and they fight him again, they just open up the portal again. They don't know if Kang won or lost. So literally, they was going to let him just walk back out. If he won that fight, he would have walked right back into the world, and the whole movie would have been obsolete. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm nitpicking this much. I must really hate this movie, because most movies have issues with, I'll be like, oh, that's what they're going to do. I'll accept it. It wasn't good, guys. It just
apparently
wasn't good.
Apparently in the original cut of the movie, they were actually, Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually supposed to stay and get trapped in the quantum realm.
Would have made more sense.
But unfortunately, I guess it leaked on the internet, or I guess an early screenplay, and they changed it to something way worse. Listen, if your screenplay leaks on the internet, okay. Yeah, just keep making your movie. It's fine. It's going to be okay. Don't make a worse product because of it. Because I would agree with Jason, like, not with his assessment that this movie is terrible, because I ended up having fun with it, mostly because Jonathan Majors is fucking amazing, and he could just for me, it felt like there was two different movies. There was one that Jonathan Majors was in, and there was everything else.
Yes.
Because Jonathan Majors definitely, he makes Kang feel very menacing, but he also makes him feel not like he's just pure evil, but he's a person who thinks they have a purpose and have to figure and follow that, even if it means hurting people. So it doesn't seem like he's evil in that sense that he's just like, I just love killing people. It's so much fun. But like, I thought it was really cool that the way that he portrayed it, especially when he was like, when I can't remember what Michelle's fight, Janet Van Dyne, when she finds out who Kang really was, Kang was like, I'll still send you home and you can be with your family. I was like, I told you I was going to do that. And like, yeah, I'm going to go do some other heinous shit, but I made you a promise. And I thought that was like, that's like, you know, like Thanos would have been like, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to fuck all these other people up. And that's going to be into it. Like, I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, Thanos would only fucked up half of them and let the rest have the reap the reward of the plentiful nation he gave them. Right?
But I would definitely have to say that there are parts of this movie where it's just like, there was in previous Marvel movies, especially in like phase 1, phase 2, or whatever, there were funny parts, but they weren't silly per se. It wasn't like, hey, let's stop everything, you know, this huge tension and dramatic moments to make a dumb joke and make it like, haha, this is for the kids or whatever. And not saying that these movies aren't for kids or whatever, and you shouldn't, you know, put things in for them. I'm just saying it's just, for me, it's just like, as Jason said, it takes away the weight of what's going on if you're going to stop and do a 5-minute interlude about calling another character a dick, or if you're going to be like the whole thing. It was a little. Even though I love David Dastmalchian, he's got to this movie after they wrote him out. You know, it was like that's funny-ish the first time, but like after like the 7th time, you're like, okay, now that joke's getting run to the ground. And let's also say that like pretty much every other character that isn't Ant-Man, his daughter Casey, and Kang doesn't have a role in this movie. Maybe a little bit with Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, let's say Michelle Pfeiffer has a
but freaking Michael Douglas, he's just a walking corpse in this. Freaking, they shouldn't even put the Wasp on here because she barely says anything. Like there's no character arc for her. She just comes in and saves Ant-Man's ass. Because apparently they gave her better powers, and honestly, I like to see her fucking movie, like just because she is better than Ant-Man. Like the only reason Ant-Man beat Kang is because of her. The only reason anything happens because of her, and that's also weird. Why doesn't everybody have wings? Like, come on, y'all here together, give everybody wings, like and shooter blasted things. But there's one thing that is really, really egregious to me in this movie. And that's because
only one.
there's a lot of other things, but the one thing that I really, 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 really just like, oh, this really just got me in the back of my throat, and I just could feel the bile burning, was that William Jackson Harper was barely in this movie, and they gave him like the most throwaway like character. And if y'all don't know who he is Chidi from the Good Place.
Oh, I was wondering, like, who are you even talking about? You should just tell me the black dude. I'd have been, oh, that dude.
And he's a phenomenal actor, funny, talented, great, could be a star, literally could be a star. And they gave him this fucking, and like he could be in the MCU as a main character, like that's how good he is. And they gave him this fucking like this character does not interact with the plot whatsoever, other than to have these silly jokes where I can read your mind. Does this come into play in the story whatsoever? Nope.
Whoa, Jason, you got to realize that there's still the rule of one. You got a black Kang. We ain't gonna give you no other black characters that's worth a damn. You better slow down.
Better slow down. Got Black Kang, we got Black Captain America. You ain't getting the Black Reed Richards, even though they were, pushing for this guy. A lot of people were pushing for this guy to be Reed Richards in the MCU. But of course, everybody wants fucking nice guy Jonathan Krasinski, even though he's low-key a scumbag. But
damn.
Look, that nice guy thing is a fucking act, and Jim is a sociopath, all right? And I think he's just playing just himself in the office. He's a sociopath. I see it. It's gonna be like Armie Hammer. He's gonna come out with a basement full of dead bodies and a freezer full of people parts, and it's gonna be horrible.
I refuse to believe that Mary Poppins would be married to a sociopath.
She's probably one too.
Nope.
She did a movie with The Rock.
She's not. She's not. I know it. I know her personally. Lisa. She's not.
Please tell us, Lisa, that you love this movie and that we're all wrong. Please tell us that.
So, I fucking love this movie.
Yes!
I loved it. And I was like so excited. First of all, I am an Ant-Man fan. Like, I am one of those people who loves the Ant-Man movies in the MCU. And I know a lot of people don't. love it. So I loved it. I love this movie. The only thing, like when we were done, my kids went and saw it with me, and we were talking. I said I miss their friends. I missed the interaction with the Russian guy T.I. and what's his name, the comedian
Michael Pena.
Yeah, like that to me, I felt like what I was missing, and I was hoping that one of the after credit scenes would have that. And I think that you guys are forgetting Ant-Man was always very quirky, and I just think it kept the tone of the previous Ant-Man movies. And yes, and Scott Lang is not Hank Pym, and he's not a superior Ant-Man, and which is
why he should have lost.
and I think Scott Lang has always been strong because of the people that he has in his, like, on his team, you know, like he always needs the people on his team to help him. And so, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was funny. I was laughing hysterically at the dick part, you know, like, don't be a dick, like, you know, and MODOK, because MODOK is fucking ridiculous. That is like the most ridiculous character ever. And then whenever he starts saying it, and Scott's like, oh yeah, it's an anagram. It's an anagram.
I get it.
Yeah, like, it's funny because they have, their lives are, someone is always trying to kill them. They're always, you know, it's always the end of the world. And I think that,
nightmare.
And even, you know, at the end when you have Scott thinking about it, like, oh shit, did I even do anything? And he, I mean, and that's the thing, like, and I talked to my kids about it, and I said, in the grand scheme of things, he probably didn't do anything, but he had to do what was right for him in that moment, which was save his daughter. And the other outcome, like, regardless of if he saved Cassie or not, the big bad is going to happen anyway. So he can't control, obviously he has no control, but he does have control over if he's going to save his daughter. And I think that Kang proved that it doesn't matter what he promises, he's probably not going to deliver if it doesn't serve his big picture, what he sees, because he didn't hand Cassie over. And I'm not convinced that he would have sent Janet home. And unless it didn't interfere with his vision, you know, his ultimate goal. So Jonathan Majors was fucking amazing. He was amazing, and he's a fantastic villain, and I love, like, what I loved about him was, which I think that Marvel does this pretty good, is their villains always kind of are justified, you know, like, they're not just bad guys, like they have an ultimate they have a
good reason, they just go about it the wrong way.
Correct. Yeah. So even with, like, when you talk about, like, Magneto, and, like, I'm one of those people who is on Magneto's side, and you know, so nope, I loved it. Everything that y'all hate about it, I fucking loved it. So y'all are wrong, I'm right.
I want to also be clear, even though I am trying to shit on this movie, I do not hate it as much as Jason does. I actually was having fun. It's just that a lot of stuff in it, I'm just like, it makes me laugh because I'm, you know, a slope Brian idiot, but, like, I want a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I want a little bit more from, because the trailers made it seem like this is going to be like Ant-Man's definitive movie where he's, like, down in the gutter and, like, there's no way out but to, like, only thing that he can win is, like, by making Kang lose. But, like, no, he just wins. Kang doesn't lose. I mean, Kang loses and Ant-Man wins. Like, that's the end of this. Like,
I don't think Ant-Man wins. I think that's the whole point. And he talks about it. He thinks it too. And it's like, well,
yeah, he like, gives it a second thought because Kang says, "Oh, there's other motherfuckers out there that are not just me, and I'm not really the bad."
Yeah,
Ant-Man won.
But Ant-Man beat Kang, and they threw him into the freaking core and killed him. Like, it's not like that Kang. It's not like in Infinity War where, oh yeah, they might have, you know, injured Thanos, but Thanos still gets his plan off. Like, Kang didn't get his plan off, like, it at all. Like, he was defeated. Or, like, even in, like, something like
or maybe he did, because he's the master of time and we don't know yet.
Yeah, but this is one movie.
Maybe he did, Jason. You're just like you.
Yeah,
he's
but
seen he's the master of time, and he keeps on saying he's seen every outcome. I agree that it does seem like he died, but I still wasn't convinced. I had to ask my kids. I was like, so did he die or did he just go somewhere else? And they're like, no, he died. And I was like, but like we didn't see him explode. We just saw him almost like
sucked into a better. Maybe he went to an even more quantum realm.
Maybe
I don't know.
Obviously, there's no fucking rules in Marvel. They just keep making shit up.
Because it doesn't make sense that there's a tiny universe under our universe that's like exactly in your living room.
Yeah.
like if you shrink down smaller, like that makes their universe a lot larger. Y'all just find the regular motherfuckers that y'all left.
It's like the Men in Black. You open up the lockers, another universe in the locker, and then I like that. At least I like that. Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, it felt a little Star Warsy. Did you guys get that?
A lot of Star Wars. Yeah. It felt a lot of Rick and Morty-ish too, but that's because
Rick and Morty, Star Wars, and a little bit of Wakanda. Like
one of the
at the
go
end.
Ahead, Lisa.
No, just at the end with with the fighting, and I was just like, I wonder if they're taking these, if they're reusing sets or what, because this could be right out of Wakanda.
Yeah. Well, one of the head writers is from Rick and Morty, or the head writer of Rick and Morty wrote this film, so that's probably why it has a little bit of Rick and Morty D-Day. I also want to talk about MODOK and the way that he looked, and I thought, like, they need to give Marvel's animators and special effects, they need to give them a vacation of like 2 years so they can calm down, because that shit was horrendous. Horrendous. Terrible. I don't know why they try to make what's his face to stretch his Corey. I can't remember his last name. I was gonna say Corey Hawkins, but that's a black guy. Corey Stoll. That's his last name, I think. But like, why do they stretch or give like a deep fake over this obviously CG animated thing? And it's like, y'all could just make that 100% CG and it'll look 1,000 times better than trying to like deep fake his face on there. It just looks.
And like the worst part is like that is a great idea to give MODOK, because then it attaches MODOK to Ant-Man and gives him more purpose and more urgency. Like I said, it look. I hate this movie, man. I don't know how much about to say this. I hate this movie. Because it's you know what I hate it? I hate it because there's so many opportunities that could have made this movie work, and every single time they just drop the ball. And it makes sense. You mentioned that it was written by somebody that writes Rick and Morty. That makes sense when you're doing a serialized thing, because Rick and Morty's known for putting some great ideas out into the ether and not touching it for like 3 seasons and then bringing it back and saying, hey. Now, just like no different than Avengers 2, this could be one of these situations where 7 movies down the road, we go, oh crap, Ant-Man 2 was on to Ant-Man 3 was on to something. They had all these things.
Or even Thor: The Dark World, where you say, like,
right.
Down, like, oh, they're on something.
We ain't that far now.
Thor: The Dark World is the most important movie ever.
But it's just so many, like, even I could go through all the missed opportunities. Hell, one of the biggest missed opportunities was Cassie's trauma. Yeah, as a 6-year-old girl, she watched basically a full-on like video game fight in her room that ended up with a train going through her bed. Like, she mentions
half
it.
The people disappeared.
Right.
And she thinks her dad is dead.
Yeah, it's a lot of trauma that you can deal with it and play into. And the fact that maybe she should have had like a fear of MODOK, because this guy is the guy that damn near almost killed her and destroyed her life. Like, it just, but they make a comment to it. That Cassie's like, oh, I've been blah, blah, since 6, because blah, 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 blah. And she's like, happy-go-lucky. I'm like, what are you talking about? I do like, also, go ahead.
I want to say they set up like kind of like a plot point that like Cassie and Scott's like relationship is strained, but like they resolve it like 20 minutes into the movie. Like,
the quantum realm will do that for you. Time is different.
But if you're going to make a thread, let it be a plot thread and stretch it throughout the movie. Like, maybe Cassie falls under the spell of Kang, and that's because she's rebelling against her happy-go-lucky dad. And she's like, oh, this guy, something. I don't know. That sounds cliched, but still.
I would have been fine if they would have stayed in the quantum realm. Now, I didn't know that ending existed. That makes me a little bummed. That would have been a good ending.
This movie was poorly written. It was poorly edited. It was poorly CGI'd. Hell, you didn't even have to even make that Michelle Pfeiffer's character had a backstory with that. You could have done this whole movie without that backstory crap, and it could have just been like, hey, this dude is in here running things, and this Joker ain't no joke. Like, if so many moments they put in here just because I think it was like, oh, well, this gives more urgency, but then they undercut all the urgency that they put in the movie. Like, I don't get how someone sat down with a script and all these people that write Marvel movies and sat down with this and was like, yeah, this is the best way to go, because nothing makes sense. Like, Kang is a conqueror of all these multiverses, but gets washed by one group of ants and people. Like, are you serious?
Super
Like
intelligent.
it was like a cajillion ants.
Honestly, very
It
humans
doesn't
on this
matter.
planet right
This
now don't get their
Joker
ass whooped by
literally
ants.
said out of his mouth, "Are you the one with the hammer?" Insinuating that he's waxed Thor in many occasions. So much so that he's waxed Thor that he don't even remember what Thor looked like. Yeah, but these Jokers beat you. These Jokers, and then like the whole premise of like again, Herb spending this time with Kang, but never mentioning that she spent this time with Kang, or the fact that all this quantum verse travel that they did all before that moment. But this one time was this one time, like, shit, go to the quantum verse. Like, didn't one of them end with them getting zooped into the quantum verse and a mouse having to free him? Literally, but none of this was. Guys, come on, we got to stop this with Marvel. We got to stop this with Marvel. They are not even being consistent with themselves anymore. They're just making shit up and being like, because it make $1 billion, we'll be fine with it. I think I'm done. I can't anymore.
There was a point.
Yes, it's maybe not for me. Yes, you are 100% correct, Lisa.
Like, Hope was like, hey, what happened? What are we up against? And Janet was like, I can't tell you because I'm trying to protect you. He's like, no, like, tell her. You're in the shit right now.
Right,
like,
right.
Tell her, we'll like help her. Like, it was very frustrating because like that's a common trope that we see in movies, and it's like in that one, like, you know, you could like be like, oh shit, yeah, this is what happened to me, and I didn't want to tell you because I was traumatized by it. But nope, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just stringing along until it becomes relevant for me to tell you.
You know what I would have taken? I would have taken that getting out of the quantum verse did something to her brain and she forgot. That would have been a more plausible thing than I can't tell you, but we got to run. And while we're running, we're really just walking. And while we're walking, I can't talk, but I can keep telling you that I can't tell you.
Just trust me. Just trust me. I'm like,
it's a lot.
Mother,
it's a lot.
I love you, but you need to explain yourself.
But I don't blame Marvel for that because that's just a trope, that's a writing trope that I don't blame Marvel for. Everybody does that trope, but it's just
physics is not working here. Like we're tinier than the atoms. Go ahead and just let it out. I don't think you know what. Whatever you have to tell me, it's not going to really reflect our relationship because we're already fucking tiny people. So let's just do this. Like it's been weird enough. I think
why you liked it, Lisa, and I'm not speaking for you, but I think why you liked it. I think it's because the point of view I came into it with, like you came into it completely with it. Oh, this is an Ant-Man movie, similar to 1 and 2, where it's just going to kind of be almost disconnected from the rest of the universe. They're usually heist movies and they're just fun and goofy and whatever. If they never, like what Jason said, they never promoted this as like the beginning of Phase 5. This is the beginning of the Kang dynasty, you know. So, and then you do these previews that make it seem like it's going to have this huge gravitas. I think, and that's on me. That's on me. I assume that was the reason why you put it in this movie, because everybody's used to this being so goofy and silly that the change of tone would shock all the audiences realizing, oh, this is real. This is serious, because this goofy character is now like not being goofy. He's taking this serious. So we in turn would take this serious. But instead it was, nah, we still Ant-Man, baby. We out here.
We having fun. Look, that guy has broccoli face. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
So I think that's why maybe didn't enjoy it. I think I put stuff on this movie that shouldn't have been on this movie. And that's on me. But nah, I'm good. I probably will never watch this again if I don't have to.
I probably will. I'll like, you know, it's a Marvel movie. I watch Thor: The Dark Thunder or Dark World every time it comes on TNT. So I'll be here.
Just what I need. I need the fans to do a supercut of only the Kang scenes. Send it to me, and that's how I'll watch the movie from now on. I won't watch any of the other parts.
Look, Jonathan Majors, coming from Jonathan Minors here.
Hi, I was waiting.
Happy Black History Month. Thank you, baby Jesus, for getting us Jonathan Majors. Because if it was anybody else in this movie, I'd probably be like as hateful as Jason is. But because it's Black History Month, I'm giving him a pass, and I'm giving Ant-Man a pass because he's coming with them, you know. Because I know Ant-Man's bringing a potato salad with raisins in it, and I'm like, you know what? You hanging out with John? you cool. Like, we're gonna put this
Put it
over
on the
here.
end of the table. Put it on the end of the table,
Cassie
baby.
would never
But
let
you
him do that. Cassie would never let him do that. She
What
would
is this?
throw
It's a
that
potato
out
salad.
real quick. She would say, no.
It's like you
Yeah.
bringing him, it's cool. I vouch for him. Then I guess we're all cool.
Cassie the activist. Oh, I'm not gonna get started on that either. But all right.
Look, they were cutting down stuff in San Francisco. You multi-millionaire twat.
Right.
Y'all live in San Francisco. Y'all live in Oakland. Or Stockton. All right. For everything that we do, we're going to go to our rating system. If we think something is great, we give it a head. If we think something is mid, we give it a cannon. And we think something is straight doo-doo, we give it a circus. All right. Since it's Black History Month, I'm going to start with Jason. How would you rate the story of this?
Oh, circus, clown shoes. Can I go below circus? Can I be like a dirty, nasty carnival?
What's
your
below?
show. You can do whatever you want.
What's the rating below
It's
circus?
our show. We can all do what we want. It's a different world. We can do what
The
we
rating
want.
below circus is a P.T. Barnum.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
he
So this
is-
is the greatest show. It's that low. It's the greatest showman. Sorry, the greatest showman. It's that low for me.
It's a P.T. Barnum, everybody. Lisa, go ahead and rate the story for us, please.
The story gets, I think it's canon. It's not, I mean, it's not the worst Marvel movie. I loved it, so I understand the plot holes. I'm not a dodo, so yeah.
I'm going to agree with Lisa and give it a canon too. It's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not it's not Thor: Love and Thunder.
No, I actually stayed awake for this whole movie. So
It's not Thor: Love and Thunder. All right, let's go with the performances. Lisa, how would you rate the performances in the movie? Ha! Made you look, Jason.
performances, I think that they're head. I loved everyone in this, honestly. Michelle Pfeiffer, every time I just looked at her, I'm like, God, why are you so beautiful?
Oh,
Dude,
Like-
she looks like she's still 25.
She can get it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, she is, yeah. So, yeah, no, it gets head.
Jason, go ahead and give the performances a rating for us.
I actually, just off the strength of Jonathan Majors and Paul Rudd, I mean, I'm gonna give it some head, man. Like they're strong in this movie. They were the most interesting things, even though I didn't like all the stuff that was going on around them. And Michelle Pfeiffer was great too. So let me not say that. So those three performances from me stand out. I'm gonna give it a head, almost close to going to a canon because Bill Murray is wasted completely. They could have put me in that role, and it'd have been the same thing.
It would have been the same
I could have been a nasty old man too.
Hey, did you know I had sexy moms? I clapped them cheeks. They were great. It was like 1,000 years ago. And time is immortal here, so it just keeps happening.
Hell yeah! Did she tell you about that leather Catwoman suit she got? But that's what I said.
I would also say that between Paul Rudd and Jonathan Majors and Michelle Pfeiffer, that would give it a head. But then I would ding it for William Jackson Harper and Bill Murray and Michael Douglas. So like somewhere in between canon and head is where I'm landing, like right in the perfect middle.
The taint of the head.
The taint of the canon and head. The taint mean of canon and head.
Maybe a little tea bag.
Yeah, the little teabag action. Just a little plop, when the water's a little bit too high and you just plop right down and you just little kiss.
My parents listen to this show.
This is why my mom does it.
I'm so excited. This show's disgusting.
Oh, God.
All right. And for my last question, who was the least utilized? William Jackson Harper or Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
I'm gonna go Cheaty because actually, it's a black dude, so I want them to get as much work as possible. Underutilized black dude. Welcome to Hollywood, Cheaty. Welcome to Hollywood.
Your career is not going to go the way you planned.
Right.
Welcome to disappointment. All right. So we're going to give this movie an all-around score from 1 being the worst thing we've ever seen in our lives to 5 being the greatest thing since, I'm going to say The Wiz, because it's Black History Month. These numbers also don't correlate with each other. So
That's
Jessica's
what I needed to hear.
We don't have to disclaimer, man. F them people. You know,
Look, no.
A rating.
Ron
They go kick
Dawson
rocks.
pointed this out, so we have to give him disclaimer. All right, Jason, go ahead and let us hear your score from 1 to 5. You can also give it a 0 if you want, or negative numbers. We don't really care.
We really haven't made rules of this. But the all jokes aside, I'm gonna give it a 1.5. Jonathan Majors is great in it. Paul Rudd's Paul Rudd. Michelle Pfeiffer has something to do. Cassie's annoying. MODOK's annoying. I would say Janet's annoying, but I mean Hope is annoying, but I didn't even know she was in the movie. Bill Murray's whack. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
There is one person in this movie that's put their heart, love, and soul into this. It looks like this is the greatest. This is what they think is their greatest achievement in life, and you just went and spat in their face. It's probably some grip or a gaffer who's like, "This is the best."
Or the Jon Snow looking guy who was holding the gun for like a second and then just got completely like wiped. Him.
There was an extra here who's like, "I'm in the movies. This is the greatest day of my life." And Jason's like, "No, you're worthless."
Pick up an MCU movie to be in.
You go back to your hole where you belong. Lisa, what would you rate this movie?
It's a 4 out of 5.
I'm
I'll definitely watch it again.
I'm gonna split the difference and go. It's a 3 out of 5 because it's not egregiously bad like Thor: Love and Thunder, but it's not Black Panther 1. Let's go with that.
Correct. It's not. Black Panther 1 is so fucking good.
I'm sitting here trying to debate. Do I hate this more than Thor: Love and Thunder? It's close, man. I don't know.
I guess we'll review The Cleaner next week.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do The Cleaner next week. Yeah, we got it.
You know what? If we can ever get Sam Jackson on this show, then we'll review The Cleaner. How about that? And he'll come on. And
I'm sure Sam Jackson's like, "You want to review my 2007 seminal movie, The Cleaner?" Oh yeah.
You never know. Sam Jackson is an amazing human. Maybe someone will pass us on to him. And then
Morehouse Man.
I've seen some of the movies he's made. He coming on our show would not be a downgrade for some of the stuff he's done. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Also, for all of our listeners and viewers and followers, if we reach 5,000 viewers or subscribers on YouTube or on any other one of our platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Tunes, whatever, Jason and I will do hot yogurt with Lisa. I don't want to do that, so please don't make me do that and stop subscribing. No, actually, subscribe so we can do that. Also, if we get to 10,000, we're going to do I'm going to have to agree with Lisa for everything.
Yes, for everything that I say.
She says.
Even if I say The Greatest Showman is the greatest movie ever made, ever, he got to agree with me. He does. That's the deal.
Hopefully she won't
happen,
let me make me do that because
it happen, y'all.
And then if we do 15,000, this probably changes every week. Every time we say this, we'll do a Taylor Swift only episode.
Yes.
Please don't make me do that. And if we get some number over that, then I will allow you, the viewers, as well as my lovely co-hosts to fuck with my dating profiles on the internet.
Yes, please, guys.
I feel like we should just do that anyway.
I know, right? You should just let us do that.
Daily Bumble update.
More subscribers.
yeah. Daily Bumble update. Just let us know how it's going in these streets.
Yeah.
How many single moms can Jason attract in an hour? 0.